I want to be dojo. Okay, take it easy, buddy. Take it easy. So there's a guy named. Okay, so Kostya did part one, and we skipped one because they wrote something for me, and that was a dude named Uphill24. So we're gonna go find Uphill24. Let's see what he says. Hi, Jesse. I've been playing chess competitively for the last 2 years and absolutely love it. Joined my local chess club and have played around 12 games OTB. I struggled starting off making blunders by playing too quickly and then went 5 games unbeaten. FIDE rating is 1377. Damn! Now, I don't understand that actually, I want to say, because I think the lowest the FIDE rating you can have nowadays is 1400. I've really taken to the training program this year. I found it a little confusing to navigate around at first. I'm concentrating on getting my pieces into play before attacking, and it seems to work. I really enjoy the Wednesday graduation show. It's so instructive, and I love your sense of humor. I really need to slow down from now on to improve, but I'm over the moon to finally get my first graduation. Big fan of Eric Rosen. He sort of follows the advice given in the plan about developing and gaining tempi, but I have cut out watching anyone else and focus on the daily targets in the dojo. Nice. South Wales. Beautiful. Okay, that's a beautiful thing. Let's see, I'll turn it over here. And I want to say, Uphill, that sorry if we missed our regular schedule. Sorry to anyone. We got a little bit funky this week. We got a lot going on. Oh, timeout. I'm not forgetting my coffee. I'm not forgetting that at all. No way. I want to be ninja. I want to be ninja. I want to chop, chop, chop it down to Chinatown. This is pretty good, man. This guy's going. Look at him. He's going up the hill. Maybe that's what it means in New South Wales when you say uphill. Is just a colloquial way for saying uphill. Because he is going up. His ratings look amazing. You can see he's working like a beast here. Well, he kind of took some time off, and now he's going full Monty. Okay, so that looks great. And uphill, actually, one of the things I should say is I just posted in the calendar the workshop that I'm doing for players in the 500 to 1,000 cohort. So I think you would enjoy that a lot. We got a really good group. Hello, Cross Online. Yeah, Timpa says you can't go under 1,400 if you drop below you're back to a non-rated player. That's my understanding too. Okay, so chess in Wales. Nice. He's confused though. He's got Wales, he's got Irish. Lifting heavy things, bro. I'm telling you, that is the one where people, that's where the graduation happened. There are only 39 members, but that one is crushing. Okay, games. So I'm hoping for an OTB. Let's do this one just because it looks like it's an OTB. And we want to say that Garar, you played a guy named Gawar. That's not messing around, but do we got times? It's hard to do the times, but all right, we're going to do this and we're going to go game review, and I bet I got to fix my business. I do. So we go papap. I go papap. I go papap. Let's get into Garar. I'm sure I'm pronouncing that wrong. Now, actually, these notes maybe could be better. Okay. Little weird. Fine. Okay, frisky, but fine. In principle, fine. I'm worried about c takes d5, though. Poor. Good move. Frisky. Because of that. Queen b6. Whew. C d5, knight d5, and we blundered the bishop. Darn it. Okay. So, one of the things we should say about a position like this is bishop g4, in principle, it feels right, but white is doing one thing here, and that's messing with your light squares. That only gets messed with if this bishop loses control of the operation, right? So bishop d7, e6 look correct. Now here maybe bishop d7. Good move. And now I think we're in trouble. Yeah. All right. So does he give us a chance? Okay. He's at least giving us a pawn back or something. Oh, yeah. No. Queen a5. Very good. Castles. Excellent. Now here's the thing. You're mad at yourself for missing queen b7, but it's not in white's interest to be taking that pawn. Even if the computer tells us that queen b7 is the right move, black needs to be hyper-focused on making sure he does not get mated, because his king is way out there, okay? Now, you played rook fc8. Engine says this is a wrong rook. I think this is not a bad idea. And when you're using the engine, we want to... So let's talk about it. The reason you did this is that so you could play this next move. Now, I think you're fundamentally missing that this is happening. But the intention isn't poor. And even if you're missing that, it's still a pretty good idea to play the rook over. And something I want you to see is your opponent now, their fundamental fail is to be not developing their pieces. Okay, the king's loose. He needs to develop his pieces, consolidate the king's safety. He is doing nothing of that when he plays a3. Simple and strong move. How are we winning this game? We're winning with development, activity. Queen a6 is forced. He doesn't see it. Rook c7, good move. Good move. Poor move. What are you doing, buddy? Check. Goodbye. No, that ain't it. Checkmate. Checkmate. There we go, buddy. There we go. That was a pretty good game. So, Anthony, well done. And I think you can see that you've got the spirit of development right, and then this was just a miss. And here you just got to be a little bit more careful about all the things that are hanging. Here you can still save your soul with bishop d7, for example, right? Okay, well done. You will continue to win a lot of games by your opponent not developing their coconuts. That's going to continue for several more cohorts after the one you're in. And I strongly suggest you try out this workshop. We got that posted in the calendar starting, what did I say this? It is going to start the 16th. No, excuse me, 17th of November. All right, well done. Let's continue. Oh, so Kostya had already done a bunch of these. Let me fix this. And he told me exactamundo where he stopped. So he stopped. Bum, bum, bum. Last one was Sid. So over here, he got to this guy. All right. And so he basically stopped in the traditional spot where you go up to 1100. Okay. I have a delicious coffee going on here. Thank you very much. So we're going to do J.W. Pulford. I think I got quite lucky with my last two games that pushed me over the threshold. But hey, I'll graduate and switch to the new schedule per dojo recommendations. Now, J.W. Pulford, you can see, has graduated a number of times. 374 points gained since he joined the dojo. And I think he was more active before. And you can see he's kind of mellowed out in his activity here. So a lot of times, it's not immediately obvious that you just see activity, but you can see it in his lead chess chart here, that he's been more active. And here at chess.com, he just hasn't been doing much at all, which is fine. You can see too, yeah, he's going through sporadic, he's a binge studier, Nice, a vintage studier. All right, UK Dojo, beautiful. And we got one that's pretty recent. Uh-oh. You guys see that? I need to make a Jadoob, actually. I was using this screen to do the show from this morning from Goa. I did a kind of a impromptu stream this morning. I used this setup, so that's why it's a little funny. Any case, we can see, my friends, that we got a real disaster on our hands with J.W. Pulford. Now, how bad is it? We're going to find out. We want to move this over here. And, oh, I don't know, Kraai. It's not that important. We just see it, though, that these people are not taking their time. Okay, so we'll go game review, skis. This is the Pulford. Let's make sure everything's cool. All right. Okay. 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 Blunder. Now, what's kind of, is it hilarious? I don't know what it is, but these people, White clearly had kind of a sense of what the theory of the position was. And then the second he doesn't know what to do, he just blunders it completely. And White resigned? Why would he resign? Why are you resigning, bud? I don't know. He definitely shouldn't have resigned. Okay, well, there it is. So, White, what are you doing? Can we? I see this. Oh man, they both players criminals when it comes to moving too fast. All right, so let's just give a little shout out here to the basic problems that I did in my video series, because I've covered so many games on the grad show here, is we're at a pretty strong level here. 1,000, 1,100 to 1,200. So this, for 1,000, for example, is about 1,250 chess.com. And at that point, you're not hanging pieces anymore the way you were doing it under 1,000. And that's a big deal. That's a very hard skill to learn. And now they're hanging tempi and not using their time, right? So it's still these two fundamental things that we'll see over and over again. Now, different players will, maybe somebody doesn't always hang their time, their clock time, doesn't hang their tempi time. But those are the two things that I see again and again for players at this level. So they're not hanging their pieces too much. So this guy hung the pawn on e4, right? They'll still do it sometimes, but it won't be. Usually, you're going to need to do something more than that to beat them. This is Flash. I think he's saying he was just in the wrong cohort. So we'll see. Yeah. All right, Flash was just in the wrong cohort. We're going to go on then to NBest. What's going on with NBest? Looks like they joined pretty recently. He's going straight up. Done some good work already. Tell us something about yourself. He's in South Africa. See, that's why I hit the club. So let's get a sense of who's where. I got some games, no games. So I think NBest just joined. Welcome to the dojo. Hopefully we'll see some games from you. Already it looks like you're doing some good work. Okay. Ludwig. What does Ludwig got to say for himself? Nothing. Ludwig is going straight up. He's been here for a while, a little sporadic with logging his work. And let's see what's going on. U.S. evening, okay. And here we go. It's a little bit weird. People, I want to say, you can tell he's not putting it, you need to put your games in the My Games folder. All right, that's where they belong. Look at that. Very nice time usage. Our guy used the clock much better than his opponent. This is a 30-minute game, and something we really want to stress is when you are this highly rated, Ludwig, it doesn't actually count. Or let me say, it shouldn't, it doesn't officially count as a classical game for you because it's too fast. And one of the reasons, there's a lot of reasons, but at this level, you're strong enough that you can use the extra time. And you can see here, you probably lost on time. So a time control for you, where you'd really be making some gains, is like 45 plus 45, something like that, right? Let's take a quick breeze through here. You're doing fine. You're doing fine. Poor. I don't like this, because now he can play knight d5 and mess with our business a little bit. Okay, this scares me for some kind of knight e4 trick now. Poor, letting you develop. Good. Fine. Fine. Good. Good, solid chess. e4 looks good. Unnecessary. If you're going to play e4, just play e4. That's no good. I don't think the knight belongs there. Oh, that's bad. How come you didn't wait? Let's see what you write here. A large error by me. I thought that because my bishop on g3 protected b8, that this was a smart trade for me. I considered playing rook takes, but to me that left my queen staring at two pawns that had no pawns for me to help defend. Obviously, I lacked the vision, but that seemed to me like an endgame that was not the best for me if those pawns stood. That's a good analysis, honestly. I disagree with the ultimate evaluation, but it's a good very honest assessment. So, like, you saw this and you thought the pawns were terrifying, and what we should feel, ideally, here is that our pieces, our minor pieces, will kill, and I mean kill, the black king. Imagine bishop b1, queen c2, e5. If he goes g6, we're going to h4, h5, and we have too much power on the king's side for him to survive. But that was a very good assessment. Maybe a good move. I don't know if I get it. Okay. Now, couldn't you now... Well, actually, maybe this guy was a genius here when he did this. Look at this. He was maybe a genius when he did this. So now he's going to get e4. I would say about this move is where I felt winning turned into, I felt for the first time weaker than black. Or like I had lost all my positional advantage. Good. And I think that's very true. So when we take it back, all we have to say is, if you had played e5, well, we should consider e5, because it looks like you're not going to lose your pawn there. However, I think he's got a strong move. He can go queen d5, exclam. Oh, no. And then we're not going to win the pawn. So, kind of a difficult situation. Very surprising, too, because on knight c3, you'd think that would save us, but actually then the queen is looking over here. No bueno. So that was a difficult situation. Now it's about equal. Maybe he's a little bit better. I would have preferred bishop f4 or something. All right, so he blew it. Good move. Good move. Good move. And now you should trade queens. He should have probably played queen c1 check. Queen c1 is not check, excuse me. Because now you trade queens and you have good chances to win that endgame. So trading queens is the most prudent here. Your move, that might be even a move a computer would approve of. It scares the bejesus out of me. So boom, boom. I think that's the best try. It wasn't the best try, excuse me. So d5 big time blunder. It's the right idea. Yeah. So here I still want you to trade queens. And then this guy is analyzing it with you. Caps chess is queen b8. And it would be, I think, very interesting to just try to evaluate this. I want to say, of course, I'd rather be white. I have very strong memories of winning a position like this, thinking it was winning, and then later being like, no, not winning. But of course, it's white who's pressing. Bishop f4, he should find a way to stop you from playing h5, I think. But here, anyways, at the end of a variation, you want to tell us what you think the eval is. All right, so now it should just be equal. I don't know about that because you're allowing f5. I don't like this. Uh-oh. Are we blowing it? Oh, it doesn't look like we're fudging. Uh-oh. Blunder. Blunder. There we go. Now, were you able to win on time here? Like, how does it go down? All right, so he ends up winning. He's just got 22 seconds left. Very tight game. Okay, so one of the things we can say, and I want to go back to our, oh, crap. No, this wasn't so bad, though. I have the wrong screen on, but still, you guys got to see at least the board and stuff. Maybe it's good. The good news about me keeping the screen full there was that you can see that black lost the game because they had stopped thinking. And one of the things you can see in this time graph is at the moment that white is in dire time pressure, black just starts blitzing. If they had thought, if they had produced quality moves, they're going to win that game. The advantage in having more time is not that you run your opponent out. It's that your moves are higher quality than theirs. Very hard lesson. But that's a nice win for the dojo right there. We're going to call that a win for the dojo. So, Ludwig, well done. And now we have a famous dojo where this is Ambush Rakasha. I've never known how to say him. He's been around in the dojo forever. And you know, he's graduated so many times. Let me just say it gets harder and harder. Another graduation, this one coming sooner than expected, and driven primarily by weekly 90-30 games at the Mechanics. Let's call that a home club for the dojo. I continue to work on making safe moves that strive for the initiative and aim to keep my clock under control as best I am able, given that most of my game-losing blunders come in time trouble. Useful materials this cycle include Jesse's Advanced Tempo course on Chessable. Yeah, buddy. Hanging out with a community of higher-rated friends also makes a big difference. And teaching chess to elementary students in SF means I myself am increasingly conscious of my number one coaching pointer. Why is your miserable king still in the center, kiddo? All right. So he's trying to log the points, but not the time. All right, I'm going to take a quick break. I'll be right back. Okay, this is Ambush from SF. And look at that climb, dude. Look at that massive climb. 1269. Nice. Ferocious, methodical, Merciless. Goodbye. Sweet Blue says, I just got my first FIDE rating. I want to make it my preferred rating, but I feel it's a bit higher than I deserve. Should I wait for it to stabilize or change immediately? I definitely think it's good to switch it to the OTB. But yeah, maybe play another tournament. If it's very new, play another tournament, see how it goes. All right, SF Bayer. Now, Ambush, I have a special request, and that is for you to make a mechanics chess club one. You know, I want that mechanic ones. All right, games. My games. Oh, here we go. 11-4. This happened recently. All right, we got a time graph. We do. Look at that bad boy. So this is 130 plus 30. And one of the great things we can see here is that Ambush, if he's got a problem, it's moving too slow. Right? If he's got a problem, that's his problem right there. We'll see what's going on. Some big tanks here. Some huge tanks going up. He's at move 16 and he's only got a little bit of time left. You know? Okay. So as we go up the ladder, we'll start seeing some players who have a problem of moving too slow. You see at the very top GMs, if there's a problem, it's moving too slow. It's rarely moving too fast because they know they got to think. All right, here we go. Let's go game review tab. Bam. All right, he's going to play the French. Okay, weird. Fine. Fine. Little weird. Now, here's Black's idea, f6. And now, bishop d6 is one move, but I think e5, well, e5 is going to come anyway, I guess, and e5 is going to be a good position for Black. Yeah. This move, I think, is probably weak because of f2 hanging. Yeah, so we probably want to play queen e2. King h8, mistake. And we're saying, Ambush is saying, if e5, queen b3. Well, to that I just got to say maybe, but I just play knight b6. And I've got everything. So, king h8, mistake. Knight f1. No h6. Now, on e5, I think now it's a little, it's at least interesting because you have knight e3 now. But I guess again, knight b6. Basically, the whole idea of this weird French, I'm trying to remember, it's got a really dumb name to it too. I can't remember what the name of this thing is. Anyways, is to get off this early e5. In fact, well, now knight e3 for sure, because if e5, knight g4, and I don't know, maybe it's equal. I'd rather be white at this point, just because Black has made so many crimes. Okay, so here we go. Boom, boom, boom. And he doesn't notice the queen d5 is hanging. Now, it's weird because Black has done all this stuff and then doesn't end up taking, ends up giving us the d5 pawn. Now, this is poor. We're in trouble now. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and say here, this is his first thing. Oh, and here we got to say, actually, let's go back to the big screen. And we want to say this is where white really was tanking like a maniac. So we had, let's see here. So where was these big things here? So for white, So here he's tanking really hard. So wait, here he's still fine. Knight GF3. So far he's not tanking. Little tank. No, there's no tank here. Where's the tank? Where's the tank, bud? I'm looking just at the move times, and I'm not seeing the huge tank. Is it like so far he's... I don't understand. Where does he lose all of his time? All right, so bishop c2 was a big tank. DE5 was a tank, not a huge one. Oh, and then here it was here. Knight 1d2. Okay, good. So this shows us that he was really losing his mind. And you look at this position. You're going to block your bishop. You're going to do all these terrible things to your position. You know. You're only going to spend that much time making a bad move, honestly. So let's just say, if you couldn't play queen d5, why wouldn't we play like knight e3 or something? Let him take. We'll take back with the queen. And we might live. Right? We might live through that. Might not do. We might also not live through that. In any case, not knight 1d2. For example, bishop e3. My concern would be this move. That would be my concern right there. But maybe we could play king h1 and live through this thing. We just want to live. This one, we're all backed up. Again, not a developing move. I don't like this move. Maybe he's still winning, but I don't like it. What is this guy doing? Now you're fine. Now you're fine. Okay, so black completely blew that. And we want to say the big news is that he didn't use his time. You're totally fine now. That isn't it. This is a very superficial move. He thinks he's going to like rook g6 you or something. There's no lo puedo over there, bud. Good. Fine. That's fine. I'd rather you bring your rook in, your other rook in, though. Okay. I don't know what he's doing. Fine. Poor. I'd rather have, well, okay, we let ourselves, look. You said something interesting in your notes, and you said, I now bring all my pieces in before I attack. And you need to focus here, for sure, on this move. This guy needs to come in. Instead, you're going to obsess about the g-pawn, right? And here it's already a little worse for you. You need to think about probably king f1 here, but you're obsessing. And notice, this pawn is covered, so rook g1, no bueno. Ugh. Bishop d4. Yeah, so we're already in a bad way here. We're already in a bad way. A move that might be interesting, just to mess with him, would be, I don't know, maybe rook d1 to d5. It still is a mess with him a little bit, but now I think we're just lost. Look at this, you're still obsessed with the g7 pawn. All right, now we're toast. We're making random threats. And now the annotation stops. Okay, black wins. All right, Ambush, that was a good game for us to look at. You definitely lost your mind. Oh, the Guimard. That's what this thing is called, the Guimard variation. Took me a moment. Yeah. So, in a way, you could say he got the idea of the Guimard off to play f6, but he didn't actually do it, right? And you need to realize that you can't be letting your development go to caca like that. That was a bad one, right? Okay. So, Ambush Renkasha, huge man in the dojo. We got another one, SBM McManus. Okay. So I think we might skip McManus because he demoted himself. He lives in a rural community with no chess culture and have a demanding job. Okay, great. With SBM McManus. All right. So we'll keep an eye on him. And now Juan. A couple of months ago, finally got my FIDE rating and is just slightly above the cohort. I stayed a bit solidifying and wanted to get a couple more games in before graduating. Been practicing tactics mainly, though not recording them on the platform. Juan is a great human being. I met this dude in the workshops that we did. We have one coming up for, I believe, the 17th for the 500 to 1,000 cohort. He was in this cohort, so a much higher cohort when we did it a couple months ago. I'd like to say he got a lot out of it. Really cool that he's now using his FIDE rating. And as we noted before, 1,400 is basically the lower end of what's... this is not his actual FIDE rating. This is his FIDE rating, and it's just normalized to 1416. Now, by the way, one of the things on our agenda is we have to fix... Like, FIDE did this huge switcheroo, and I'm certain that we need to redo our rating conversions. I'm certain of it, because I have a feeling it's no longer this big of a gap between 16 and 1,400 anymore. Okay. So, here you can see Juan is putting in some work. Took a break maybe over here. Clubs. All right, beautiful. And games. Now, you guys, please put it in the My Games folder. Please do it. So you can see he didn't. He's just putting it into the random. All right, so here we go. This is a live chess game. We got some times. One. You're in a high enough cohort that we do not want to see you using this time control. Okay, that is not the time control for your cohort. All right, let me just make sure no one's yelling at me over here on the Discord. Okay, so, boop. Okay, so, let's do it. Fine. This is like a new funky system. Fine. 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 Now, I guess bishop f6 would be a question here. Bishop f6 looks like a nice position for white. Okay. I think queen b6 would be an interesting question, either now or in the next move for white. h6. Now, one of the things that white screwed up is that his dark square bishop is his best piece because the pawns are in light squares. So if we go back, it was correct in the sense that he's threatening to win a pawn and is forcing you forward. However, when all this goes, he needed to play bishop f6 now to damage the pawn structure and win this square. Now, at some point, we should be looking to trade the thing. And that's why that move is a mistake, because we'd love to trade that guy. Trade him off. Trade off that good piece. Okay. Okay, good. Same idea. He trades and develops the queen. Bishop g3 was probably stronger. b5. I don't know. I don't know. This encourages him to play a4, but I understand what you're doing. Poor move. Good move. He needs to play a4 pronto. Good. Good. And let's just say the obvious. You are now in a King's Indian structure where white is 1,000 tempi behind in terms of generating play on their side of the board. They've also helped you open this side of the board, your side of the board, for you to get things going. a3, poor move, lots of time playing on the wrong side of the board. When we say playing on the wrong side of the board, one of the things we're talking about is you're making weaknesses for black to attack because he can bring more pieces to bear on that side of the board. Of course, we want knight c6. Can't be wrong. Actually, might be wrong. You could also play knight g5 with the hopes of knight e6. That also looks strong. So, excuse me, my arrows are all messed up. Not sure I know what people are doing. Now he gets frisky. Now, the main reason this is incorrectamundo, right, is that he's giving you the e5 square. So normally in a King's Indian structure, he would want to play g3 first. It's obviously not the easiest thing for him to do. Okay, let's look at this line that the computer gives. Yeah, e6 is kind of weird. The main point, though, is just to see we want this control. And we want to also maintain this. We don't want him to let him take and have to take back with the pawn. So here we go. ef4. I like what you're doing. Now dc3, I don't know. We should give some exclamation for that. Annotation for that is what I mean. Whoa, what are we doing, buddy? Now maybe you can do this. Okay, maybe you can. Snippos. And now c4 blunder. All right, so now we're lost because of this. Now, the point is, I guess we should say, is that in this position, you're still doing fine. But what you blundered here was that you're activating the bishop. So forget about the tactics and everything for a second. You're activating the bishop and you're activating the queen, right? And sure, you could say I missed it because of some tactic stuff, but if you just play a move like that, right? Or maybe even a move like that, intending knight f4, you are in control of the game. Okay. And Kraai, why aren't you showing the game review tab, bud? Okay, so we blunder. Might as well mess with him, I guess. Now, we're lost. I don't know why White's making it hard on themselves, but they are making it hard. Queen f2. Rook e3. Checkmate. That's what they get. That's what they get. And now we're going to go back to that other screen just to show it. What happened? White moved too fast, dude. Too fast. We could also say, though, one main thing, you're doing great. I want you to play longer games, buddy. This 30-minute thing. No lo puedo. All right. So, Juan's cool, man. I want to hang out with Juan again. Maybe we'll do another workshop sometime soon. Next up, we got Jurg. I finally found the time to play some games and put all that tactics training to work. I have also more confidence of being in the right cohort now that my Lichess Classical starts to stabilize. Still love the dojo and enjoying doing some work whenever I find the time. Please review my game against Hamali. All right, we will do. So here's Jurg here. Oh, it's Hamburg. All right, watch the Queen's Gambit, all this stuff. He's even older than me. God damn. He's even older than me. All right, I'm hoping, by the way, Jurg, that you got a club from Hamburg here. Oh, he's 50 plus in German. No, those are good clubs, but we need a Hamburg club. I played a Bundesliga match in Hamburg once, let's see, 1999. But otherwise, I wish I had spent more time in Hamburg when I was there. Okay, here we go. We're looking for Hamali. There he is. Ba-bam. Played on Halloween, or at least uploaded on Halloween. Do we got some times? We do. Look at that. I always enjoy it when our guy gets a better rating than our opponent. Now, Juan, I want you to pay attention. This is the kind of time control you should be doing. 1 plus 30. You know, you can do 90 plus 30 if you want, but I mean, there are cohort-specific time controls. Maybe I'll highlight that on the next time I come to a profile. And it's important. It's important, and Jürgen's doing it right here. Okay, let's go game review. Pa-bam. And here we go. So far, so good. Fine. I think that's the out of book sign. Okay. So one of the things I guess I would say about this is that we want to understand what's going on in the dynamic of the position. So let's start here. Black is ready to achieve a good French with c5. It's important to see, however, that Black is lost a tempo in getting to that French. And once he plays c5, then this queen a4 thing, or the light squares in general over there, might become an issue. Okay? So when I was a kid, this was thought to be kind of tame for white. Maybe just good for black. But now people have developed some very powerful methods, and you can check out the Dojo aggressive repertoire for white. So c5, this is generally not what we want to do here, because knight takes d4, even if it's we want to criticize it, maybe objectively it's not the right move. From an idea perspective, it's absolutely correct. We want to harass that bishop and get our stuff moving, definitely sack a pawn, try to hurt black before they castle. All right, so I understand you taking on b1. It's a very sad day, though. It's a very sad day. First of all, if you're going to take on b1, it implies that you want to take on e5, which you do. And controversial, okay? Controversial because you're so far from castled. Prudent would just be bishop g6. And I don't think you're going to get mated or anything, okay? White, this is their worst piece. Think about it. It's got to do a couple tempi before it lives. So this might even be objectively best, but from a practical point of view, I really don't like it. Now he plays bishop b5 check, and I'm going to say that was inaccurate. Queen a4, if he's going to do this, looks much better. There's no queen d7 due to bishop b5. Right? Bishop b5, though, now gives you the option of spanking him with a6, which you do. Good move. And we can play b5 now whenever we want. Bishop d6, knight gf6 feels more natural. You're kind of giving him queen g4, which he does. So you talked about b5 and stuff, but why are we doing bishop d6 instead of just knight gf6? Now it's going to maybe a little weird. He can take on d7 if he wants now. Oh man, it's getting hot. It's getting hot and heavy. Now this guy plays this move, and I'll tell you right now, that wasn't it. That wasn't it. Now you're just up a pawn. Thank you very much. Good. Now we're in full control. Yeah, now you're winning. Good move. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Probably fine, yeah. Okay. So, B4, I guess. Good move. Good move. Good move. I was hoping you wouldn't castle. King belongs there. Your opponent, I feel, is just making some random moves. Okay. This one, maybe, but I don't like it. I'd rather just protect my bishop because the only thing that really concerns me is, like, is dude going to get something happening here? Check. I don't like this pin. I don't like this pin that's happening to me. I don't know why we're doing b5. Now we're just opening up this rook for him. Uh-oh, this is scary. Why? No, if he checks here, that's a hassle. He does it this way. Now I think, well, we should at least consider king d8 because I'm worried about our pin here. They're giving me a heart attack. This is terrifying. This is not what we wanted. Okay, he is letting you out. I think at this point we might be able to find some other things for white, but he is not doing it here. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Oh, no, buddy. Oh, he got you. He got you. Now, one thing I just want to share, this is 60 plus 30 at the end. This looks like time anxiety. You got 30 seconds to live on, and you just started moving a little too fast at the end. Oh, that was a real bummer, man. There's our final position. Oof. Not what we wanted. I think somebody must have rated us. Somebody must have rated us because we have 130 people watch. I don't know who it was. Whoever rated, thank you so much. Because I don't know. Sometimes I get so into the game analysis, that I lose track. All right, here we go. Ba-bam. Next up, we got Davy Chess. All right, here we go. Davy Chess doesn't say much. Joined recently. Clubs, nothing. Games, nothing. Well, maybe nothing. Nothing. So, Davy Chess, welcome to the dojo. Glad you're here. And we got Julio Chobo now. As people say, the program offers a framework for improvement, which has been very helpful. Sometimes I step back to prevent burnout, but I always have an itch to return. Major features for me are the emphasis on game analysis, sparring, and the mates in two. It's amazing how much better I got with pattern recognition. I still feel like I lack heavily in understanding, especially when to give away material for activity. Also, as you can see, my opening bucket is almost empty, which may harm my results to some degree. Finally, would you review my game against FM Wrangle? Okay, we will. Now, one of the nice things that you say is when to give away material for activity. And I think you're at a really good stage in your chess journey for us to be thinking about that kind of dynamic, right? When you're getting up to like 1250 ChessCom, let's say, 1000 Dojo, that's basically not hanging stuff. And then after that, people are going to be hanging Tempe. And a lot of times then with Tempe, it's like, well, now I can sacrifice for Tempe. Okay. And get a feel for the dynamics of positions where I am just super active, right? And when you start just feeling the activity of certain positions, get an intuitive sense for it, that'll take you to the next level. And that's kind of the level you're at to start thinking along those lines. So I think that's a nice thing you bring up. We'll see if the openings mean much. At this stage, we allow people to study openings, but you don't have to be making progress. As you see, you are crushing it here. Very nice progress, by the way. Let's pop out his heat map. Yeah, he goes kind of fits and starts, but he is doing the work. Okay, as he mentioned. That's a good sign that his tactics are on target. Okay. Good. So we got clubos. Brazil. Okay, nice. Wait, how many people we got from Brazil? 21. Okay. Games. And did he mention some game he wanted me to look at? Daniel Rangel. So let me just find this guy. There he is. I believe it's an FM. And here's our beautiful clock time. Actually, we'll see what event this was. This was the FIDE Open Rio Movimento Xadrez. I've never played in Brazil. Maybe someday I will. And we want to say here, right, if you have a problem, it's you're moving too slow. You can see this is 60 plus 30. Great time control for you to progress at this level. All right, so super cool playing a titled opponent. Let's go game review. And here we go. Weird. Yeah. Okay. So sometimes you can do this, but players will wait to play black to play a6 because then it's not so great. Here, good. Now you play d5, which is gotta be fine. But it should be mentioned that when you play d5, white will always be thinking about e5 freeing the bishop. So another setup would be to play d6, knight f6 here, and then eventually e5. Okay, fine. Weird. I don't understand why we put our bishop there. Let's just say the natural move is by all means knight f6. Knight c3. He could have thought about queen g4, yeah. And now you're going to put... So here, I guess what we could say is your narrative is that you don't want him to play e5 with tempo. Okay, the bummer is your knight is poor on e7 at the moment. He's got a variety of plans here. Let's see what he does. Okay, logical. And I don't like this move. Pushing the knight out. This hampers my bishop, but I thought the knight would also be bad for quite some time. But notice, his knight is bad now. His knight is already bad. It's already bad. So we should castle. Simple chess. Now, the bummer with this move is now he's going to get to play a move like f4 and all kinds of other interesting things. Your move, queen h5, maybe even now. All right. Knight a4. I think one of the cool things about queen h5 first is then he could play knight e2 and look to use the knight on the king side where he wants to attack. This can't be bad, though. f4, okay. Simple and strong. f5, interesting move. I spent almost half my time in the next three moves, but I was happy with this one. Weakening as it is, it's very necessary. That is a good move. And what I also like about it is we prevent f5, so that by preventing f5, we prevent that bishop getting out. By tickling this pawn, we will eventually free the knight. Now, I still think white's better, and he plays b3. And that's, to my mind, a simple structural move, maybe unnecessary, but a simple structural move where he is playing against these weak squares. Okay, hard to know what you should do. I thought for a second he was going to play bishop a3. So that would have been the more conventional way. We play like bishop a3, you mentioned c5, and now knight b2. I would say white's just simply better. He could play rook ae1 as well. So rook f3, spending too long on it, suggests he thinks he's going to try to mate you, and that's actually going to dislocate his pieces a little bit. I don't like that one. In general, no. I don't want you to. Why are we freeing the bishop? Oh no. Oh no. Yeah, we need to play like g6, rook f7. Now we're in big trouble. Rook a f1. Okay. Weird. Now I guess we're going to just say he's got to be better here. Interesting move. So he's going to take you to the end game. Maybe kind of clever. And now he's up a pawn. Good. Good. At least it's an idea. And now we're lost. Okay. Yeah, I thought you played great, dude. Time management was definitely an issue. And I want to say there's a couple... Okay, we're talking about the activity for material, right? Good point, but also see this related point is that what's going on in this game is that you're not being sensitive enough to the activity of both sides, right? So I felt like I would have done things slightly different up to here, but it's fine. What you did. This was a big mistake, right? And then that was interesting. There's a couple moves then, like that one. No way. Don't open the bishop. Oh no, he becomes a real jerk face. We don't want that, man. We don't want that. No way. Okay, so Anthony Appill, who we were talking about before, says the lowest FIDE rating is 1300, just to clear. Okay, maybe he means just to clarify. So let me just check here. What is the lowest FIDE rating possible? I'm asking my friend Gemini. The current minimum FIDE rating is 1400. Players whose rating drops below 1400 are shown as unrated on the next rating list. And right, previously it was 1000. So anyways, that's my understanding. So, Julio, simple things like this are the ones that are going to take you to the next level. Notice how strong that bishop e4 is. Oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah. Okay, so little positional understanding. And actually, let's go back a second. I promised I was going to look at the time controls. So let's first do that real quick. So your time controls are fine, but I just want to show it for other people. Juan, for example, was playing a 30-0 game, and that's only if you're under 800 dojo, right? These are our minimum time controls. So I wanted to bring that in. And the next thing I want to show is if we go middle game, it's really cool that Julio's reading Reassess Your Chess. I think that book, for the kinds of mistakes that you're making right now, fantastic. Fantastic. If you read that book, you're gonna that 2200 player, you're not gonna make a lot of the same mistakes, right? So props to the Dojo training program for nailing the book that you need to read right now. Okay, great. Next up, we got UK Chestnut. Training plan and materials very helpful, sometimes difficult finding sparring partners and arranging tournament games due to time differences. Yes, I hear you. And one of the goals for the dojo is to grow so large that arranging the tournament games wouldn't be such a grief. Okay, so here we go. Cumbria, England. Now, I know I shouldn't be doing this, but I got it. I just want to, I know there's like North Cumbria and stuff, but I just need to know where Cumbria is. Oh, that's way up there, bro. Dang. That's way up there. I bet it rains there all the time. I'm going to see a picture of it. Oh, yeah. There's the Castle Rig Stone Circle up there. Dang. That's beautiful. I guess maybe I'll go on a walking tour when I'm a little older over there to Cumbria. Okay. So here's his ECF. Jesse, you're getting distracted. You're getting distracted, but he is doing great over here, doing everything right with the ECF. Okay. Clubs. 50 plus. I'm just hoping there was a Cumbria club. You know, that would be cool. And I bet there is some club that he belongs to up there. All right. So, games. And here we got UK Chestnut. This is pretty recent. And we got an OTB. 150 plus 10. He didn't do the times. It's okay. It's hard to do the times, but I recommend you do it. Okay, here we go. Fine. Good. Fine. Good. Poor. Good. Frisky. Poor. Mistake should develop bishop and get the king safe. He was blitzing moves, which was off-putting. That's my excuse. Now, first of all, we totally get with it with the off-putting, but let's just think about this for a second. The point of the triangle isn't just to have a triangle. The point is to blunt this bishop, to make it a chump. So you need to develop pronto, and e5, maybe your position's still fine, but it's just not in the spirit of what we want to do. We want to play bishop e7 castles. We're solid as a rock. All of our pieces are beautiful. I would have definitely considered d4 there. Oh, that's a fancy move. That's a fancy move. So he is saying that if we take, he's going to nail us here. UK Chestnut, we definitely need a variation here. But I'm assuming the variation would go like this. Pawn takes. Our bishop's hang. Knight takes. Knight h4. Bishop h7, snip, snap, and rop. I'm assuming that's the variation we want to have in there. This happened to us, by the way, because we didn't develop our coconuts. A little weird, okay. e4, oh my God. So terrible move again, same excuse, didn't fully calculate rook e1. No, that has nothing to do with rook e1. It has to do with not developing your coconuts. Now we're toast. Okay. Good try. And now he does queen c3, which I don't know. Now, maybe bishop c4. I get it that it's a little rough, but I think you missed that move, as my guess, because now that's a painful one to meet. No, that was a good move by white. No, he's playing some good chess. Dang, look at this guy. Dang. This guy's a genius, dude. Wow. Okay. So one of the things that I want to stress with this game that we just saw is that when we are at this level, which is pretty high, okay, 1,500, 1,600, what you're going to see is the kind of mistake really that we see from UK Chestnut, which is that he is going to blame his mistakes on not calculating when actually it's not developing. And it sounds easy. Like if you told him, UK Chestnut, you're sitting him down at a bar, you say, is it important to develop your pieces? He'd say, oh yeah. He'd say, it's not like he doesn't know. But it hasn't been fully ingrained in him enough so that he doesn't push the e pawn, that he doesn't push it twice, right? And that's important for people at this level to understand because it's not just something you have to overcome. You will see it again and again in your opponents, and that's where you can make the most gains because they'll give you that time, and then we're going to get good at taking advantage of that mistake of losing time. Right? I did a course called Mastering Time in Chess, all of that dojo games, just example after example of dojo games. All right, so well done, UK Chestnut, 1500, 1600, that's no chump business right there. All right, here we go. Goat God, 1807 FIDE, 1854 really. And then we got some clubs, games. And this is Jakob Neumann. And this is us. We unfortunately played way too fast. Way too fast. Okay, so let's go game review. We'll try. We might come back to that time if we. Oh, I reviewed this already. Oh, Jakob, we needed another game, buddy. We needed another game. We've already done this one. All right. So that was Jakob, and now we have a famous dojo or AC secret. He says, when I first joined the dojo, my games seemed to be won by luck. By analyzing my games, I learned every single game. Now my games are more alive. Losses are lessons rather than stress, and I now know why I am winning. The game of the cohort is against Dragonaut. It is still hard to win a one game. Beautiful. Here we go. This is AC Secret. He is in the Philippines. He has graduated numerous times. And look at that. Ba-bam. The man, look at all those graduation symbols. Bows. He is doing his work. Now, it says he's gone up 1465 points. That's a little hard for me to take in. That's a little hard for me to take in. I don't know what to think about that. But he has, I don't know, that's what it says. All right, gloves. Asian Dojo, Philippines Dojo. He's the only one in there, which means he created it. That's a good one. I think he might have created the jeans club too. All right, we're going to look at Dragonaut. So there he is, the famous Dragonaut. And we got times, we do. And so the first very beautiful thing, cheers to the dojo, is that we won the battle of clock time, right? Doesn't mean we're going to win the game necessarily, but it gives us a huge competitive advantage when our opponent is making impulsive moves like black is here. This is the round robin. So we're actually playing somebody in the dojo. Let's read what his note to me is. Sorry, GM. I can't seem to edit the graduation messages, whether on browser or mobile app. It's always like this for me. Instead of this, kindly review my game against Yardsen, okay? I might have missed that, by the way. I might have missed that. All right. So, it's a very strong chess player. We played on Lee Chess. Okay. Organized by the Philippine Academy for Chess Excellence. It's an 8-year-old kid. Oh, man. Dude, I was covering Faustino Oro today. Just 12 years old. Almost taking Vidit down. And the first thing we're going to say, look at this, is this kid, he's got a kid problem right there. Okay? He's playing way too fast. Way, way, way too fast. So hopefully we won this game. All right, game review. If you talk to him, you say, kid, Kraai says you're moving too fast, and if you can slow it down, then no problems for you. You're doing fine. Okay. Good. I don't like this move. It's not the end of the world, but I'd rather see b6. You're doing fine, though. Good move, e4. Boom, boom. Good move. Good move. And now knight h5, which I don't understand. Okay. The problem with knight h5 is that your knight is in danger of losing its way. And that's the main question. He should play there. Keep your knight at bay. So better was knight d5, right? And with an interesting position. Now that's terrible. You should definitely take this. You can do your move first if you want. Maybe he should try f3. Now you take, but here's the problem. When you take, it means that you're playing to double the pawns. When I say take, you mean take here. But then when you do that, if you don't take this guy, then your knight's just poor and the bishop's amazing, right? So I don't think we want to do that. No, no, no. We want to play knight takes and have the two bishops. So poor move. And he says bishop e5 double question mark. Bishop e5 is a very natural move. But it is a very, I guess we could call this an interesting mistake. So what Black is saying is, he's saying this is actually a big deal. And I don't, and if you play bishop e5, I'm going to gain the f4 square for the knight, which the kid is playing way too fast to recognize. So he says best could be bishop h4. To my mind, there's also a very simple move here, rook fe1. f4 doesn't trap my bishop because I'll just play bishop h4. Yeah. Okay, so here we go. This is very instructive, okay? The knight is, in fact, too powerful. It is an amazing knight. They say the knight is the best blockader of the pawn, right? The bad pawns in particular. Look at that thing. Good move. This is frisky because you're losing c3, right? Good move. Soft. Good move. Oh, look at that nasty thing. Goodbye. Goodbye. I like rook b3 better, but of course you're winning. Dang, look at this guy. Whoo! Okay, simple thought here is that we beat somebody who's maybe going to be a GM someday, okay? And we did it not through necessarily chess skill. That isn't to say that AC Secret isn't a strong player. No, I'm saying that if this kid could have slowed down, oh my God, it would have been a much more dangerous opponent. UK Chestnut, yeah, I just covered you, bud. Congratulations. Congratulations. We had a great talk about you, telling you all your secrets. Okay, good. So we got, Mom Jean's boy. This guy's back. Mom Jean's boy. I feel like I haven't seen Mom Jean's boy for a while. So let's go back here. Grad show. Oh, Shudovich. Oh, man, did I do that? Hold on, here we go. Here's Mom Jean's boy. Now, Mom Jean's boy, I don't know what's going on with Mom Jean's boy. He's used to be very active in the program. Don't know what's happening. Okay. Wait a second. No. I know Mom Jean's boy. I was thinking about something else. I don't know. I think I met Mom Jean's boy IRL at a tournament, like a rapid tournament in Maryland. But he's not doing his thing. He's not doing anything. Mom Jean's boy, come on now. Come on. Okay. Okay, there we go. Mom Jeans Boy, you know what you need to do, Bows. You need to log your business and give us a game. Okay, ba-bam. Next up, we got Ox Shadow. What's going on with Ox Shadow? Has done some work, joined kind of recently. And here we have this. So, okay, let's see what's going on. The Asian Dojo, fine. Do we got some games? Nothing. As my experience of the grad show, okay, I say this every time. I think it's an interesting truth. My experience with the dojo is that it's much rarer to see higher rated players analyzing their games. And you'd think, well, that's weird. And it is. And it's because, in my opinion, higher rated players have so much invested emotionally in the game. They have committed so much work and part of their identity to the game that they cannot, or find it very difficult, look at their own games. That was definitely the case for me, and definitely was a huge part of me becoming a GM. Huge part. So, my friends, you gotta take a look at those sad mistakes. Everyone's making mistakes, bruv. I just covering the World Cup today. Trust me, there's a lot of mistakes going on. Okay, one more, and that's Judge Tanglao. Let's see what's going on with the judge. The judge might be a similar kind of person. I don't know. Joined in May of this year, Asian Dojo, Agar's Army games. Let's just make sure we don't have any in here. No, we got one game. Let's see what we got. This is the judge. Nope, not annotated. As I said, it's harder for the higher rated players to take a look at their own business. Okay, my friends, we're going to end it there.